And Fox 13 continuing to cover the story out of Herriman where a fire is burning out of control. 1,262 homes have been evacuated. That is mandatory in that area.
And some of those homes are on fire. A very serious situation. If you're in that area, you've gotten a reverse 911 call and you're thinking, do I really have to go? Again, we've heard from the fire department, we've heard from the sheriff's department. They say this fire moves faster than you can run, and they say that homes are burning as we speak. You do need to obey this mandatory evacuation.
Also want to quickly mention that local emergency officials are asking that residents stay off their cell phones, if at all possible at this point, because due to the fire burning in Herriman right now, these local cell phone circuits are really being overloaded at this point. So it's really essential that these phone lines stay open for the emergency communications. Residents are also not asked to call 911 unless they really have an immediate emergency.
And backing up a little bit, the fire started in mid-afternoon around 3 o'clock on Camp Williams territory at the machine gun firing range. And somehow a fire was sparked as they were firing machine guns there. The fire was whipped up by the winds that have been swirling through the valley today and pushed down towards those homes.
And these winds have not only been strong but very unpredictable. And Scott McCain joining us live now, kind of in the thick of things, and this information continuously changing as this fire continues to burn out of control in Herriman.
Yeah, it's obviously, once again, every live shot that, you've joined us for, the wind kicks up right on cue, and that has been an issue all afternoon and all evening long for firefighters. And Captain Brad Taylor is going to join us again. Really, he's been bopping around here back and forth. And is there any new information? The last count was over 1,200 homes. Anything new that we need to know about right at this moment?
No, there's been no changes that we're getting reports on, other than there are some structures that are on fire, but only 2 is the confirmation number on that. The governor has arrived here, and shortly we're going to work together so he can come out and make a statement. He's
being briefed as we speak, and,
yes, he is.
And to just, again, to reinforce the seriousness of the situation to our viewers, we're talking about trying to get some federal funding in here because of what's been going on and how much this is going to cost to fight.
Yes, this is a large-scale fire, what we've got going on right now, for sure.
Yeah, understatement to say the least. Brad, 13 years you've been with Unified. Do you remember a scenario like this with the high winds and everything, this sort of perfect storm so close to these residential areas?
No, it is a perfect storm like you're calling it, with the high winds that we have going on, the dry summer. A lot of the fuels have dried out, causing the fire to spread quickly, and we do have homes that have been built right here in the foothills. And unfortunately, that's what happens when you build right up close in the mountain area.
Do you feel like in terms of getting everybody on the same page with fire and with UPD, it seems like traffic has sort of mellowed out here a little bit. It was gridlock here just a short time ago, starting to get a handle on, get evacuations and roadblocks and stuff like that?
It seems for about the past 2 hours we've had steady flow of traffic going through the evacuation. UPD has actually diverted the flow of traffic instead of coming up right here in front of the command center. But still heavy flow of traffic of people leaving.
And folks were given ample warning. I mean, we started with our newscast at 5:30 this afternoon. Do you feel pretty confident that everybody's out of where they need to be out of at this point in terms of the homes up there in the affected area?
I think UPD is doing an excellent job on getting everybody out that's required at this time. We've also used VEC, which is a Valley Emergency Communication Center, and they've done a reverse 911, so they've been able to call out to the homes. But otherwise, I think we're doing an excellent job in the time frame that we have to get people evacuated.
And again, it changes literally by the minute because of this windy weather.
Exactly. And I say we've done a good job because we have no injuries.
Okay.
So I say that's why we're doing an excellent job on getting everybody out.
And I guess we'll look forward to hearing from the governor here after he's briefed by you guys, right?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Right. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. So Max and Nineveh, to the best of their knowledge, everyone is out of where they need to be out of at this point. Those who weren't too willing to go were encouraged to do so, strongly encouraged to do so by Unified Police when necessary. And they are just going about the business of trying to get a handle on this very unpredictable wildfire.
And Scott, we here at the station didn't want to go outside because it was hard to breathe here with the smoke blowing all the way to the north end of the valley. What's it like there? What are you feeling like?
Honest answer, it's hideous. It's been awful. You know, Jer and Mike D, who we've been out here all afternoon, and you know, we look at each other when we've got a down minute here. The eyes are red, and it's just terrible. It's smoke and grit, and you know, and for the folks and for the livestock, there's a lot of folks out. They moved out here, you know, so they could keep large animals, and I can imagine what, you know, there's horses and folks with llamas out here. I mean, it's going to affect everybody, and there's going to be some folks who maybe aren't in too good a shape. They're going to maybe have some little more significant issues with their respiratory system and other health-related problems over the next couple of days, very, very possibly.
And just looking at this video right here, Scott, I mean, this is just incredible at how large-scale this fire is. I mean, how do you attack a fire like this? I mean, how many firefighters are out there? How many helicopters are dropping water on top of this thing? I mean, this has grown quite a bit since 3 o'clock this afternoon, since it started.
That's an excellent question. I mean, they're doing the best job they can. They get reports in. They have as much radio contact as they can with each other, the crews do, but as they get reports from one hot spot, they try to respond to that. And as Don Hudson from Unified Police had mentioned to us earlier, they're trying to go from hot spot to hot spot, but you know, if they have to go on the roads to do that, it's a real chore. It was a real chore right up until about 9 o'clock tonight. The roads were just choked with people coming and going, trying to evacuate. So it's been a real challenge. I mean, again, I hate to keep hammering home the same thing, but this wind has just made it so unpredictable. They don't know where the next hot spot's going to be. They just have to use their best educated guesses as experienced firefighters and crews to sort of, you know, get on a hot spot and stay with it until it no longer becomes, you know, a situation where they can stay in that area. You know, the wind either changes direction and forces them out of there, or, you know, something along those lines.
And Scott, I mean, you're out there in the thick of things. You're reporting this. You've been talking to all the officials out there. I mean, in all honesty, do you feel like there's a sense of panic out there, or do you feel like these guys?
Not at all. No, I don't panic. I have not sensed that out here at all today. Some folks in a little bit of disbelief that, you know, yeah, we've been out here for a while, and we see this, you know, about once a year, but, you know, a little disbelief that this one is, I guess, the big one now. But other than that, folks seem to be proceeding along in a, from what we could tell, pretty orderly fashion.
Okay, Scott, we're going to let you get a little bit of a breather and kind of collect your thoughts and figure out what's going on with the governor out there, and update some people on some more information, and go to John Goulet as well. So thank you very much, Scott McCain. And John, we're looking at these winds.
Yeah, I mean, the timing couldn't be worse, Max. We've got an area of low pressure coming in to the Pacific Northwest, and this air rotates counterclockwise around an area of low pressure. So what typically happens is we get wind out of the south ahead of these systems. Now we've got a cold front that's associated with this area of low pressure. This will be coming across northern Utah by tomorrow morning. So what we anticipate is we'll see wind out of the south this evening, and it may be shifting a little bit out of the south and to the east as this area of low pressure starts to advance. And then by tomorrow morning, we'll see the wind coming at us out of the northwest, and then it'll turn a little more west by tomorrow afternoon, and winds expected to be tomorrow afternoon out of the west between 10 and 25 miles per hour. It usually, behind these dry cold fronts, it usually gets kind of gusty out there, and then it's kind of nice, and then a little gusty from time to time. It'll be bringing in some cooler air, so temperatures are going to be dropping between 15 and 20 degrees across northern Utah. So it's going to feel nice out there tomorrow, and hopefully that'll get some of the smoke out of the valley, because it's got to be terrible out there right now. Let me give you an idea here on SkyTracker of the area of the Salt Lake Valley and the Herriman area that we're talking about. This is I-15 right now. This is the Bluffdale area. Down below here is Nash. This is at around Point of the Mountain, and then over to the west is where the Camp Williams area is. The wind was out of the south today, and it looked like it went into this Rose Canyon area, and that now has been moving into the homes, into the Herriman area this evening. So it looks like the south winds should continue tonight, and they could be gusty from time to time. You can see right now the wind has actually picked up 10 miles per hour here in Salt Lake City. We're now seeing a sustained wind at 20 miles per hour. Sustained winds out of the southwest. In Delta at 20 miles per hour. Provo, it's out of the south at 10 miles per hour. And where Scott McCain was, a lot of times you get wind gusts around these fires. They create their own areas of low pressure. The hot air rises rather quickly, and then it grabs air from the sides of these fires, and it can be very, very gusty from time to time. So not only are we dealing with wind from an approaching system, we're also dealing with winds that come from these storms that are out there, these firestorms that we're seeing towards